look up Pokemon Solar Light and Lunar Dark. Yeah, I was the two main Pokemon RPGs. I don't want to start a Fakeamon RPG that I don't even know what the Pokemon are and they're not even real. I'll start mixing them up in my mind with 5th Gen. I'll be like, is the ice cream cone real or is that a Fakeamon? And I won't know. And, oh wait, it was the garbage bag that was the 5th Gen, and that's no good. So, I probably, I'll stay away from that while I have the Crystal and Black going. But after that, I was thinking of directly hopping into Pokemon Prism, which is a ROM. It's a ROM hack of Pokemon Gold, and it encompasses gold sprites, but recolorings of 3rd generation Pokemon. And I believe 4th generation too. That's going to be really an interesting LP. LP or walkthrough, I don't know. We'll have to see how in-depth I get with it. Where I came up with it? The name Vladimir Z, well, it's a family thing. It is handed down through cousin after cousin, and I got it now. And since my creator is essentially Dio, the last name is Z. After the generation Z, which man you are, because we are this technology peoples, downloading our consciousness into machines. That's something we could definitely discuss later on in this podcast, downloading consciousness into technology. It's been a big thought on my mind, and I'd love to get your guys' opinions on this shit and get it through Skype so we can have a direct conversation. When do I think they're going to show the... when? I believe they'll show it... I don't know. I don't know if... I guess we're going to see something new from Pokemon. I'm pretty sure we are. Whether it's Wii or 3DS. Hopefully a Wii, somewhat like PBR, but better story kind of game for Wii with 5th generation Pokemon. Something like that would be announced. That'd be nice. On the 3DS, maybe something about 6th generation, because Japan already had 5th generation out for more than a year now, so we're probably going to be seeing something in Japan sooner than over here. So we might hear news around E3, but who knows? Yeah, for some reason the 3rd generation, I don't know why. I never understood that, why 3rd generation was so hated. I remember, because I started out with Crystal, being so enthralled by the idea of a new generation of Pokemon, because I grew up on 1st and 2nd and loved those to death, but 2nd generation wasn't an update. It was my basis. So when a 3rd generation came, it was like discovering all new creatures. I remember reading through Beckett magazine. It's interesting that we talk about Smogon and the Smog webzine now during this live cast, because I used to read through Beckett all the time, learning about Beautifly and Wurmple and getting so excited about such basic Pokemon. But I love the idea of changing, shifting seas and continental plates, the continental Pokemon Groudon and Kyogre. I really would look forward to a 3DS remake. There's another idea. If 3DS remake was announced at E3 for Ruby and Sapphire, they're just dropping a bomb, boom, coming in Japan this September. That would be massive, and I would definitely import a copy of that to play through. I loved Emerald, and I loved the Battle Frontier. So funny. When I eventually do an LP of that region, I mentioned it before, I don't even know if I have the footage, honestly. I think it's gone, it's deleted and out of space. I started an Emerald walkthrough, but I stopped because I couldn't get the audio syncing right, and it was sort of similar to what happens on some of my episodes with Crystal, but I've got that down to a minimum, and I can sort of balance out that sound, but I found a new method of recording that, so once this bulk of footage is done, commentated on, we should be good. But, I was going to do an Emerald walkthrough, but one of the funny things that I remember doing in that game was trying to experience Deoxys by going to whatever that island was called that had the space station on it. Do you guys remember? It had the Shoal Cave, and can't remember the name of that place, but I remember it had a space station, and basically what the rumored glitch was, and I was back to always trying to glitch my games and seeing what would happen, and, you know, trying to access areas that I normally couldn't, because at the time I wasn't going out to events and downloading the tickets. That would be very funny and an interesting LP. Go for it. But I remember, yes, there you go, Moss Deep City probably. Try Audacity 1.2. I might try that if it does video recording too. It's video and it's direct from the Game Boy Color emulator that's having trouble, so I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, exactly. There, somebody just said it. Deoxys on the moon. Yeah, I believe that. And I went there. I think it was like 100. Holy shit! The chat just like exploded. Too much with this freaking thing. There, stay. But what's it called? I went to that space station like 121 times. Yeah, I know. It was, my mouse got stuck. Stupid touchpad. But I was so disappointed. I was like, wait, can't I board the rocket? I want to see Deoxys. And now that would be a really cool idea, huh? I don't know if that's, I'm sure that's been discussed, but Pokemon in space. We have the technology, and I mean, you've seen some of the movies. You've seen some of the Pokemon movies, I'm sure. For example, the Deoxys movie. Let's just go with that one. The crazy technology that they have. You're telling me that they can have these high-tech, advanced Pokemon arenas that none of the crowd gets hit. It's a shoddy arena, and you know, it's a great viewing platform. Yet they don't have. Oh, that's awesome! Converted to iPod, but they don't have any means of getting to space. Bullshit! That's total bullshit. Okay, I cannot believe that. The Giratina movie. I have a poster in the back of those two. Are the same poster of the Giratina movie. That guy, that flying that ship, that evil dude, holy crap. When he was trying to catch Giratina, how do you get that technology? I mean, really. That's something worth going to space with. And if you're going to space, why not bring Pokemon? I mean, you don't think there's more Pokemon out in space if Deoxys is out there? If that's space DNA? What's beyond that? That's where Pokemon starts to get really trippy, I bet. That's where we'll get into the thousands and thousands of generations, when we start to get into the string theory of Pokemon, and you start to have to going through, instead of regions, dimension hopping. That's when things get crazy. Camtasia I tried out, but it's not as good as the direct capture from Game Boy Color as an AVI. Yeah, if they had another planet just of Pokemon, and then you were that Pokemon, I mean, I guess that's the same premise as the Mystery Dungeon games, which would be interesting to see if they bring back that for the 3DS. I'm sure they're going to cash in on that, too. Yeah, who knows when they'll run out of ideas, but we still have plenty of ideas as the viewer and connoisseur and Pokemaniacs of Pokemon to come on and chat about, so it doesn't matter. They have grounds to do 3DS Mystery Dungeon really simply, and all they have to do is take what was going to be the Pokemon Ranch kind of sprites, and what that game was in Japan, because there was a Mystery Dungeon game in Japan on WiiWare, but it wasn't in any English-speaking nations, I don't believe. I don't think it was in Europe, and I know it's not in America, because it's never on WiiWare. I check. It's not there. But all they have to do is convert that from WiiWare over to 3DS, give the world some depth, and you've got yourself an awesome, fun, downloadable Mystery Dungeon game to put on the eShop right away during the 3DS's launch. And that's a great time to attack it, too, because with those simple sprites, compared to the real quality full model textures you're going to see with the characters, hopefully on the Pokedex. I mean, I'm having a lot of hope for what the 3DS is going to be producing in a few hours, but it's hope. We'll see what happens. You'll get my immediate response as I download an update. I'm sure I'll do a video of it. But yeah, it's an easy port. It's a simple port they could do from that English-speaking nations have not seen yet. And sure, it's been out in Japan, but why not play it again in the 3D realm? You're already getting to play the Bit Trip Saga. I should work for Game Freak. Yeah, if they would hire me, who knows, if they see these PokeChats, that would be just fantastic. But again, I'm sure I'm going to be a single enterprise, as I always tend to be, and work off of YouTube wages through Googles. Do I know? See, I hate that. The chat just keeps scrolling on up. Any suggestions for DSi or GBA? For GBA, yes. If you want to have an in-depth RPG or kind of an RPG with a different twist, then you can go for Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Try saying that 5 times fast, especially when you're tired. But Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, that was a great title on GBA. And that really encompassed RPG elements with fun platforming of Mario. Plus, it does a lot of tricky button timing things. Metroid Zero Mission, that's another great title. Metroid Fusion, I played that one. That was excellent. Partners in Time. What do you guys think of Bowser's Inside Story, though? I'm not going to scroll the chat up. If you said something, repost, because I don't want to make the thing go crazy. But do you think that out of the three, yeah, it was Partners in Time, and the GBA one, and then the Bowser's Inside Story, which was also DS. I didn't beat all of, I almost beat, I'm stuck at the final boss in Partners in Time. And Bowser's Inside Story I didn't get through all the way, but that was... Yeah, it was really cool how they integrated Bowser into how you actually played the game. You actually had to control him as a character. I remember I did a review of that actually on Gamerscast, speaking of which. Partners in Time. Yeah, I love the Mario RPG series overall. That was really one of Nintendo's greatest. I hope they continue it on the 3DS. We're already getting confirmation of Paper Mario. Mario Kart is a given. That's something I can't wait also to see at E3. But, I guess this is kind of like the E3 Hypecast as well as PokeChat, but I can't wait to see what Mario is going to be doing on 3DS this year, hopefully. I like the Paper Mario series, but I've only played the Wii version, so I really can't say that I know it that well. I have the downloadable Virtual Console version of it, but I haven't had the time to delve into it. Too busy LPing and too busy with Pokemon RPGs to get involved with the Mario one.